In the game week, just how is game week different from a week ago? Just the energy, the attention, the focus. How does this week change?
Yeah, you're running your offense, but you're running it against more specific looks. So as you go through camp, it's more you're teaching the core foundational pieces of the systems you have, and now it's how do those systems relate to what we're doing that week. So you kind of fine-tune things. But that's why we rep the stuff so much in camp, is so that we build a real strong foundation of our offense.
When you're setting up a game plan for something, a week one game, and you've had so many new starters come in and be named starters for you, do you try and, when you're going through that game script, is it more keeping concepts simple for a game plan, or is it you kind of throw the kitchen sink at it?
Yes, all of that. It's what your guys are comfortable with and what you do well. We're not in the business of confusing our own players. So we want to do stuff that they feel comfortable with, that we know they can execute. I'm not going to ask them to do anything that they haven't had a lot of banked reps at, but there's also some stuff that, hey, this could be really good for us, and this is how it would fit into our system. So you're going to do a little bit of both. But you've got to be smart and not overload them too much, but also you want to have enough bullets to be able to win football games.
Obviously, you guys have a long way to go in the season, a lot of work, I'm sure, to still do. But, the traits that are starting to stand out for this offense now that you're through camp and approaching this game?
I think that you've got an offensive line that's getting healthier and starting to come back together, which I like. We've got a lot of skill players that I think have shown that they can play. Some young guys that are, every year it happens, that start to emerge. Which is, last year that was kind of Taz Reddick. So I didn't know what we were going to get from Taz, and Taz kind of just stepped out, and Eddie's kind of had a off season like that. But I think these guys work. I think they've got a passion for what they do. I think that starts with the vets, guys that have been here, for the second year in the system, and then you got a quarterback group that is pretty talented, and I think can make some plays and do some different stuff for us.
And for Eddie to be, and the other young guys to be stepping up in that way, obviously, I would imagine that's going to be important with no Darius, going forward.
They'll all be important. Yeah. Eddie's a piece of that, but, Maalik Durant and Zach Card and although, Carson Boschma, whoever it is, we've got a lot of confidence in that group with, other guys dinged up. So I think that we'll see what happens on Saturday, but I think there's a lot of faith on our staff that we've got the skill players that can make plays.
What do you think of the way that Bryce and Riley complement each other, kind of the thunder and lightning type of deal? Yeah,
I think Bryce might take offense to that just because Bryce thinks he's got some thunder too. But I think, traditionally, Riley fits the mold of a more traditional Y in a 12 personnel set. Bryce is more of a off the ball guy that can move around a little bit. And I think they both can do some things when we're in 11 personnel. So, and then I think we've got a bunch of other guys that fit into that room that you're going to see playing. So they do complement each other very well. But I think the whole group kind of has really good skill set.
When we get Maalik actually on the field in a Beaver uniform, what are you looking to see on Saturday? What are you looking for?
Completions, touchdowns. I want to see him comfortable and running the offense, playing by our rules, taking what's there and choosing when to attack and when to hold back. But he needs to drive the bus. We say drive the bus. He doesn't need to be the guy on the scoreboard all the time. He just needs to get the kids to school. And so doing his job repeatedly, play after play, and not forcing things will be really important for him. And he's getting better and better and better as he gets more and more reps in this offense. So he doesn't have to be a superstar. He just needs to get these guys in the right situations, get them the ball, get the ball out of his hand, and move us down the field. Nothing else? You guys are easy.
Travis Kelce, your thoughts on how this offense has evolved and started to gel as camp has progressed?
The offense is clicking, pretty fast. We got great chemistry we created. Great guy Maalik Murphy, he's operating the offense, being the leader, and having us. Coach Gundy is doing a great job putting us in great fits at the right place at the right time. So yeah, ready to execute, show it all on Saturday. So.
Congrats on your captaincy. What did that mean to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot for me, that the guys in the locker room actually looks at me as a captain. I just come here and try to be the best that I can, and see how many people I could take with me. So that's just kind of been my motto, and that's kind of what I got out of it.
You obviously started your career at Colorado, and you made the move here. When something like that happens, you become captain. Is that like confirmation for you that like you made the right decision, you're in the right place?
Yeah and no, but more so I want to say no because just knowing who you are, just knowing what's on your agenda, going to somewhere with a purpose, with a plan. Like I said, I came here. I told Coach Bray I just wanted to be the best version I can, and I'm still chasing that. And just going to where you're gonna do and just with your head down, going to work, and great things come.
This offensive line didn't always have all the pieces that you thought you were going to have. How has it come together the last part of camp and going into the season? Where do you see that group and their ability to make holes for you?
No, yeah, absolutely. I feel like we all we got, we all we need. Up front, them guys been doing a great job. Open up holes, giving Maalik time, and definitely have been doing a great job of us being on the same page with the O-linemen. So we're making the same calls, just being on the same page. That way, everybody, it takes 11 guys to do their job. And, our 11 guys on page, and we going to find success. So.
Fall camp in the books. I'm curious, they on the depth chart listed 5 running backs was the most of any spot. I'm curious, what it says about your depth and kind of how you see that.
I just feel like we got a great group of running backs. Start off with Coach Pick. He's a great guy. He came as soon as he stepped foot in here. He kind of laid law, let him know what it was. You want to be who want to be the best. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. You're gonna coach us like you want to be the best. So no, it's just a blessing to have Coach Pick in the room and just to see his way of the game, the way he think and the way he move. But as far as the running backs, man, we got a great group. I feel like we all feel like, I'm sure everybody else on the team feel like, if one of us can't go, then we got 4, 5, other 6 guys that can come in and do it as well. So great group. Excited to see them guys get to rolling.
Sala said that he put on weight and guys were kind of clowning him that he was too slow.
Yeah.
Were you among that group kind of?
Nah. I actually was one of the guys that was telling them, like, hey, man, like, I don't care that you put weight on. Like, bro, you one of the fastest. Like, he came in one of the fastest guys here. And that's just his standard. That I feel like I do a great job holding him to that standard. Like, you still one of the fastest guys here. So, Yeah.
You said one of the fastest. Who's your bet for fastest on the team?
My bet, I'll put Solid on the fastest. But we also got some great guys too, like Jaleel Tuck on the DB, and some other guys like Taz and Z Card as well. So yeah.
I've heard Aiden Sullivan's also fast too.
Wait, who's that?
Aiden Sullivan as well.
Aiden Sullivan, no, he is pretty fast. It's actually crazy. I think him, Jarice as well. The linebackers, them guys get up to 22, 23. Yeah, it was definitely.
Anything else? Thanks, Hank.
All right, now go Bees.
Just talking to Gunderson, and he's got a new job description for you, bus driver.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you when you hear him saying that?
Yeah, just really the guy that's taking control, leading the crew, kind of getting the guys going, being the one that, they can look at and depend on to do the right thing. So.
Congratulations on your captaincy. I'm curious what that meant to you to be able to show up and kind of get that.
Yeah, appreciate that. Dream come true for me for sure. I always wanted to be, the captain of the team that I play on. So for me to come here and be, rather new, it means a lot that the guys trust me and believe in me enough to, choose me as captain.
As you start to adjust to things here and continue to become more comfortable, how have you seen this offense evolve over camp?
Everybody's getting more comfortable. I think that comes with reps. I said that before. It takes a lot to kind of just build the trust in each player and the play caller to go out there and do the right thing and do it well. So, time was on our side during camp. You get every day to come in and work and get better. So I think we put that work in and we're in a good spot.
Now that you've spent the spring and now fall camp with this team and with this offense, what do you think the potential is for this offense?
I think sky's the limit, honestly. We have a lot of versatile pieces. It's a lot of things we could do, and there's a lot of people we could put in certain spots to help us win. So I think, whatever Coach Gundy wants to do, however he wants to call it, I think it'll work out in our favor.
What are your thoughts on obviously losing Darius for the season and just the teammate that he's been and will obviously continue to be, through the season?
Oh yeah, it's always like super saddening losing a teammate and a friend, of course. It's tough. I know how much he loves the game, and being away from it is, it's probably one of the worst things in the world for him right now. So, all we could do is kind of huddle around him, keep him in good spirits, and be there for him in his tough times. And I know he'll still be here for us. He'll do whatever he can to, help us win and give all the feedback that he can.
You've had to be that next man up before in a week one game, if I'm remembering correctly, at Texas. I'm curious, is there advice you can give to a guy who's got a spot start like that?
Yeah, just prepare for the game like you're the guy, whether you're not yet or you are. You have to prepare like you're the guy, and you have to be ready to play whenever your number's called. So with that being said, you got to put in all the time, the work that you need to be physically and mentally in a good spot going into Saturday.
Kind of, as you guys have started to ramp up game prep for this, I'm curious what are your biggest takeaways of some of the things you're expecting and what you think of this Cal defense?
I think everybody just needs to go out there and do their job. Football is a lot easier when everybody's in the right spot doing the right thing. So it starts with me, and if I'm in a good spot and I'm doing all the best that I can, doing all the right things, I know that'll trickle on to the rest of the offense and with the other side of the ball as well. So.
How, a year ago right now, you were getting ready to start the season at Duke. Mm-hmm. How does that experience help you now as you're getting ready to go into this year?
I think I'm way more comfortable now, having a full season under my belt as a starter. I kind of know what to expect. I know I'm playing a different opponent, but I know what it's like going into week one, knowing, I'll be the one going out there to take the first snap. It's just different, when you go from not being a guy to actually being a guy. So it's a blessing. I'm ready. I've been preparing, and I know the guys around me are ready, and they're nothing but uplifting and helpful.
Would you say that comfortability is like more of the game slowing down for you, having
no
those
doubt.
reps and having that kind of time to be the starter like you were last year?
Yeah, for sure. At this point, I could go back and watch myself now because I've played in the games, and I could study myself and how I treated certain situations. Before I had to watch practice reps or watch just their film, the opponent's film on the quarterbacks that they played against. When, that helps, of course, but when you have yourself to look back on and you're able to critique yourself, I feel like that's another added aspect that you give to your game. So.
What did you think of the fall camp that Eddie had and just what he is bringing to the table?
Yeah, Eddie, he had a huge camp. I think it was really good for him to kind of go out there and, prove to himself that he could do it. All we could do is believe in him and uplift him and, keep him on the right path so he could keep getting better. He's a young guy. He has a lot of time ahead of him. So I know he'll be ready when his number's called.
Anything else? Thanks, Maalik.
Thank you.
So your just evaluation of how the offense is coming together, gelling ahead of this first game?
Yeah, I think we look efficient. I think I like the spot we're in right now as compared to last year going into the first game. I think we're all molding pretty well together, and I think we're ready to go.
For sure, and obviously a lot of the talk has been about the balance, the versatility from the offense this year. Like your impressions of how that is playing out.
Yeah, I mean, when you got a dog like Hank in the backfield, we kind of just try to do our part and balance it out. And as a receiver, I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to be more explosive in the pass game and in the run game.
And obviously, losing Darius, what were those conversations like with him, and how hard was it, for you to see that?
Yeah, no, that was tough. My heart dropped as soon as he went down. I feel terrible for the guy. I mean, he worked so damn hard. He just can't get over that injury bug, but God has a plan for him. You can never second guess what God has in store for all of us.
And even with Darius going down, just what's your confidence level like in the receiver room?
Yeah, it's just next man up. Obviously, Darius is a big piece of our offense, and losing him just means another guy has to step up.
How do you feel like your, rapport with Maalik has evolved over camp? There was one point where you guys had like, I think 5 or 6 straight completions in a practice. Like, what did you feel?
I feel good. I mean, that just comes with time. Like last year, Ben trusted me a bunch, but that was because we played for 4 years. Towards the end of this camp, Maalik's starting to trust me more and more each practice. I'm just trying to be in the right position, in the right hole that he expects me in.
Kind of your last week one here as an Oregon State Beaver. I'm curious if you've had time to kind of reflect on that and what it's meant to you.
I try not to get too sentimental about it. It hasn't really hit me yet, but I will say this was like the fastest fall camp of all time for me.
Is that for excitement to just get back out there, or where's that kind of stem from?
A little bit of excitement, and it's more so I'm just used to like the schedule and practice and all that. I do have another medical year if I do want to come back for another one.
Okay.
Yeah, you good?
You switching from like a training camp mode to actual game week prep. What do you enjoy about that, and what do you see in this Cal defense as you start to take a look at them?
Yeah, Cal's got. It's been kind of tough because their DBs transferred. So we're watching tape from their old school, so they might play it a little bit differently, being under a different DC. In terms of like the practice shifting from training camp to game week, there really hasn't been much of a change. The intensity's been through the roof during camp, and it's just as high now.
Anything else? Thanks, Trent.
Appreciate you guys.